You would think that somebody who is a librarian would be well-read, and then there's Laura Kemaker, a librarian who wants to be the NDP member of provincial parliament for Mississauga Centre. Just wait till you hear some of her ignorant views. Well, kudos to the best city columnist in Canada, Joe Warmington of the Toronto Sun, for exposing the repugnant viewpoints of a candidate in Mississauga Centre, Laura the librarian Kemaker. For starters, Kemaker refuses to wear a poppy on Remembrance Day. Yeah, she apparently thinks that anyone who does wear a poppy on November 11th isn't doing so to honor the veterans, but rather because they've been brainwashed. Here's Kemaker in her own words from a 2014 blog post, quote, "I just wear my peace button on my jacket, as always, and wait for the collective brainwashing to blow over," end quote. Who's doing all that brainwashing and for what reason, you ask? Well, again, over to Kemaker. Quote, "When our masters give the signal, everyone can take off the fake poppy made with prison labor and create a bit more landfill, and another annual ritual of war glorification comes to a close," end quote. Oh, so I guess the brainwashing masters are the rank and file of the Royal Canadian Legion. True, the poppy we wear in November isn't a real poppy for obvious reasons, but the sentiment behind that plastic poppy, believe me, that's not fake. And if Kemaker is so concerned with prison labor, is there nothing she owns that wasn't made in China? I doubt it. What a hypocrite. By the way, she's also dead set against pro sports teams like the Maple Leafs and the Blue Jays honoring the veterans by asking fans to stand for an ovation. Quote, "Why is war glorified at a baseball game or a hockey game? Why is military worship associated with sporting events? Why should we accept this as normal and natural?" End quote. Well, that's odd, isn't it? There's no detrimental effect to the environment by giving the troops a standing O. And if she thinks this is about military worship, then she must be the most ignorant librarian in the Greater Toronto Area. That's not a jab, by the way, just an honest observation. It gets worse. This nutter has actually pondered if 9/11 was an Al-Qaeda attack. Quote, "Enough about September 11th. For the U.S., for the world, enough already," end quote. And to think Kemaker was born in America, someone who fled to Canada in 2003 to protest her native country's political stance on wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Oh, please, President Trump, can you bring her back home, pretty please? Not that Kemaker would return to the home of the free unless Bernie Sanders was president. You see, she's also apparently a Marxist. She has gushed in the past about a Marxism conference that made for a, quote, "weekend of inspiration, education, and revolution," end quote. Maybe she ought to try emigrating to North Korea or Venezuela. By the way, if the term Mississauga Centre rings a bell, folks, it's likely because earlier this month, PC candidate Tanya Granick-Allen was given the boot by her party for allegedly making homophobic and Islamophobic remarks. Apparently, Granick-Allen, having concerns about the hateful haberdashery that is the burqa, and for not being super keen about gay marriage, well, that makes her a vile bigot. Even though without the support of Granick-Allen, PC leader Doug Ford is not PC leader. But a Marxist who hates the idea of honoring war veterans and thinks 9/11 was no biggie, well, NDP leader Andrea Horwath says she stands by Kemaker, freedom of speech and all that. How odd. It seems the freedom of speech defense only pertains to certain topics. And odder still is that without the blood spilled on battlefields by millions of soldiers, the likes of Laura Kemaker and Andrea Horwath wouldn't be taking advantage of free speech today. The irony must be lost on them. For the Rebel.media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, have you got your tickets yet for the Rebel Live? Wow, what a lineup. Katie Hopkins, Ezra Levant, Sheila Gunn-Reid, John Cardillo, and so many others. Please go to therebellive.com and get your tickets today.